I'd like to say shalom on this morning to all my Israelite brothers and sisters, those that are near and those that are far off. Give all praise, all honor, all glory to the Most High and His glorious Son, Yeshua HaMashiach, blessing us all to be woke another day. I'd like to say good morning to the brothers and sisters that have been given leisure to tune in to the videos. We don't mention it often, but every so often we will mention it because we don't want people to get the wrong impression that there are still many of the brothers and sisters. There are still many of our single mothers. There are still many of our mothers that have been widowed. There are still many fatherless children. And there are still many brothers and sisters that are striving for the Most High's righteousness on a daily basis that from time to time enter into a struggle. So every so often we will come on here and we will plead with the brothers and sisters that whatever pennies that they can find at their disposal or whatever it is that the Most High put on your heart that comes as a result of your abundance, that you would be mindful to contribute. It's always going to be reinforced. Not so I can ride around in a nice car. The Most High done already blessed me with one. Not so I can go and buy me a nice house. The Most High have already blessed me with one. And not so that I can pay my bills because the Most High have already blessed me to be able to do that. However, there are times that even I myself fall into a crisis here or there. And the Most High is going to give all of us an opportunity to express our love to Him from a physical standpoint by lavishing that love on the brothers and sisters. And so we're just going to make another plea. I think our PayPal account probably is down to like maybe $11, and once money get in there, we don't have to come back to Facebook. We can just go out there and help brothers and sisters, and we always make the brothers and sisters that receive help understand that where the money comes from. And so we always challenge them, even before they're given anything, that they would come on to Facebook and make a post and tag me with it, thanking the brothers and sisters in Israel and blessing the Most High for using the hands of the brothers and sisters in Israel to become a blessing. Like to say thank you and praise all praises to the Most High for the brothers and sisters that have continuously been mindful over these couple of years to give and to share out of their abundance as the Most High blesses them. There have been many people that have received a blessing at the hands of the PayPal account, and for that we thank the Most High. May the Most High deal with me ever so treacherously should I ever abuse anything that comes by way of any of the other brothers and sisters. So we're going to put that up there. That is PayPal.me/Dimitri78. Dimitri is spelled with all I's, Dimitri. Maybe we'll put the account up there once we finish the video. So that's going to be the end of that. Because this is not about money. This is about blessingness. Now, I had a conversation. Something was brought to my attention yesterday within the Israelite family and the brothers that are seeking to service the Most High through poetic form or through the making of music. Those brothers and sisters that are seeking to serve the Most High through the making of clothes and through the making of garments, through the selling oil or whatever it is, hair care products and a whole range of other things. It was brought to my attention yesterday, and one of the things that we were dealing with was support. Because oftentimes the brothers and sisters that are doing these things don't feel like they are receiving the support that they supposed to be receiving from the Israelite community. And that's only one facet of it. So my spirit been prompted to come on here and just do a simple video and just have a simple conversation with all of those that would be attempting to grant the Most High a service and also reap a living from it. We know that that is even biblical. We know that contained in one of the letters of Paul, it declared, muzzle not the ox that treaded out the corn. That meant that the ox was responsible. He was a big part of being responsible for the producing of the substance that would come from the field. And so the Most High declared, do not muzzle this ox. You see, because he is the one that's producing what it is that you need. Give him the opportunity to eat from the labor that he is doing. So we know that it is a biblical thing, and sometimes we have brothers and sisters on the outside that think just because the music or the truth is representing the Most High that it should be given away. Well, that's not scriptural at all. So what we want to do is we want to try to bring some balance, not just for our brothers and sisters that are doing these things and seeking to make a living, but we want to bring some balance where our brothers and sisters are on the outside that have to become now the fire or the gasoline that fuels the fire of whatever the gift is that our brothers are producing. To the brothers that don't feel like you are getting the necessary support from the people that you are getting, it's not always that you're not getting the necessary support from the people that you deserve. Sometimes your flow could be clogged up. What do I mean? My flow could be clogged up. You could be as gifted as you want to be. But promotion don't come from the east nor the west. Let's get that. Let's get that scripture right here. If you are a rap artist and you are very poetically inclined to be able to produce good music, you need to understand that your promotion is not going to be coming out of your talent. Your promotion it don't come from what people do or how much people like you. Hey, baby, I see you on there. My daughter, Aubrey Lachey. It don't come like that. Promotion don't come from the east nor the west. Promotion comes from the Most High. So if you're a gifted person and you don't find your gift producing the thing that the Most High says it will produce, then you'll have to start looking in some other areas. Because the Bible makes it clear that it is a man's gift that will now make room for him. That means that out of your gifted area, when you start putting that gifted area in the right place and your heart is right about it, it will just open doors for you. You see? Now, we're going to also parallel the things that our brothers and sisters are doing in the Israelite community. We're going to parallel those things with the things that the brothers and sisters are doing in the world. Because what we aim to show you is that you have a set of physical laws that's operating in the world that don't have anything to do with the Most High. But it has everything to do with the amount of time, the amount of energy, and the amount of faith that's invested in whatever craft it is that you are doing. You see? Because many brothers think because they're in truth and because they're using the scripture that the Most High gonna automatically bless them. But it don't work like that, because if that was the case, there wouldn't be no Hollywood. There wouldn't be no secular radio station or no secular artists, because they're not singing about the Most High and their energy is not being used to service the Most High. Yet they become powerhouses in this world, and their craft opens doors for them and makes room for them and produces a living for them. Now, if it operates like that in the physical sense, then it will also operate like that in the spiritual sense. And these are some of the things that we want our brothers to understand, because when you start talking about giving a gift to the Most High, it's different from what the brothers are offering to this world. But it's the same principle. If a brother came to Hollywood, you know what I'm saying, and he's trying to offer his craft to the world, then guess what? He's going to have to be then dedicated his whole entire life to the servicing of that craft. In order for a major record label to acknowledge that individual, he is going to have to be sold out. So when you hear about brothers that become comedians or brothers that become actors or... Hold on one. I don't know who that is, but I'll call him back. You talking about comedian or actors or something like that, they get up and they leave where they at. They leave their home, they leave their mother, they leave their father, some of them even leave their children in pursuit of chasing after their dream because they understand that they have a craft. The vast majority of the brothers that make it, they leave everything behind to lay on to this. Now, we just seen that operate in the spiritual principle. How be it that brothers in the world can operate in spiritual principles and it produce the same results, but the brothers that have access to the truth cannot operate in spiritual principles and they don't get the same results. That brother that left Idaho and moved to California, he stumbled across that pearl of great price, and he went and forsook everything that he had to lay hold on it. That means that he believed so much in what he had discovered that he was willing to cast off everything else. Now, brothers, I'm not saying that this might be the reason why you're not being prosperous, but it is something that you can think about. You see, because we can see clearly why brothers are prospering in the world, but we don't see that same prospering coming out of brothers that's doing kingdom work. And oftentimes brothers that's doing kingdom work get broken by these things because they feel like they don't have the necessary support. Well, what I'm doing is I'm challenging brothers to look a little bit deeper than what you see on the outside. And so we have some scriptures that we want to toss out here just for the building up of our brothers and sisters that are seeking to use their gifts and their crafts to service the Most High. Let's go to this scripture right here because there's some valuable things that we have to learn. Let's go here. Let's see if we can type this in here. Promotion doesn't come from the east nor the west. This is going to be found in the book of Psalms, Psalms number 75. Many of our brothers that are exercising their craft, they are learning spiritual principles in the world. One day they will be used for kingdom building. But so you got these brothers that have become powerhouses in the world. But one day, their craft may be used for the building of the Most High's kingdom because they have operated by spiritual principles that will cause them to understand what it is that the Most High will accept and what it is that the Most High is not accepting. They have already learned how to make the sacrifice of their whole life. And so when they do come to the Most High, they will understand that principle of what it takes to be blessed in kingdom business. But then we can have a lot of brothers that's in truth that think just because you are the Father's child that that's going to give you the right to lay hold on the Father's blessing. But that's not going to happen like that. You have to operate by the same spiritual principles. If you are one of these particular people that's trying to offer a service to the Most High, then you must be willing by faith to forsake everything else. That all of your energy and all of your time can be put into service for the Most High. Because you can't give the Most High anything haphazardly or halfway. He don't want nobody that's going to do things halfway. He wants somebody that's going to have your whole life, everything. When you wake up, you eat, breathe, live. The gift that the Most High has given you. Every decision that you make, you eat, breathe, and live. What it is that you are striving after. And those are things that come from inwardly. So let's read Psalms. For promotion cometh neither from the east nor the west, but God is the judge, and he put one down and he set up another. So many times when our brothers are not getting the result that they deem to get, it's not because of the people's lack of support. Sometimes it's because the Most High said, I can't release this to you because you have not given me everything that I desire with your whole heart. Let's go to Colossians chapter 3:23. And these things are going to be challenging to our brothers. And for our brothers that are investing their full energy and don't seemingly and are not seemingly getting the results that they desire to get, well, we got something for you too. But first we're going to go to Colossians 3rd chapter. Colossians chapter 3. What's up with this Bible, boy? The Bibles get so raggedy. We're going to go to Colossians chapter 3. And this is really a message of edification and encouragement. But in any message, you can find three things: reproof, rebuke, and exhortation. That's just naturally going to come out. It's just naturally going to come out. And we're looking to raise our brothers up. Now, showing them some key things to make sure that whatever it is that you're doing for the Most High finds the Most High's blessing resting on it. Colossians chapter 3, verse 23. It says, and whatever you do, do it with your whole heart, as though you were doing it for the Most High and not unto men. Because it is the Most High that's going to give you your reward, but the Most High ponders the things that are in our heart. And even in spite of what the people see, the Most High looks at our heart and he can see where our desire is. If we delight ourselves in him with whatever it is that we're doing, the promise is that he would give unto us the desires of our heart. And if by chance those desires that are in our heart are not being produced by the thing that we're giving to him, then we have to take a look at some other things in our life. So for the brothers who have invested the necessary time and have forsaken everything, here's one of the things that you can be encouraged by. Let's go to the book of Psalms number 1. Psalms number 1. Because sometimes brothers just have to be patient. The blessing don't just fall out the sky and come when you want it. But when you are putting the energy in the right place, this is what it says. Verse 3. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bring forth its fruit in its season, and his leaf shall not wither, and whatever he do shall prosper. So for the brothers that are investing the necessary energy that it takes for the Most High to be receiving what you offering, he said there is an appointed season that your blessing will come out of it. He said it will bring forth fruit in its season. So sometimes you have to carry that thing. The people that are successful in the world didn't just land in Hollywood. They didn't just land with a musical contract. While they're waiting on their season, they're constantly watering their gift and constantly investing their whole life into what it is that they're doing. You see? Yahanan, he didn't just end up with his clothing line all over the country. He didn't just end up with it like that. I'm sure that he had to carry that thing for a while. And because of the energy and the time that is invested, it comes out in the product. This is another thing that we got to deal with. Your energy and your time that's invested in your craft is going to come out in the product. And based on what the product looks like, it's going to be the determination on whether or not people support it. Because people are not supposed to support you just because you are in truth or just because you're the Lord's child. That's saying just because I'm a Christian, everybody should buy my Christian t-shirt. That's not so. People buy things that they feel are quality. They buy things that are good. They buy things that they can see time, energy, sweat, and blood put in. Don't nobody just buy stuff just because you say you serving the Father. It don't work like that. But for the brothers who experience it and they know that they've invested all that they can invest into their craft, whatever it is, and it seems like you're not being blessed, sometimes you have to carry that thing. Your blessing is for an appointed season. And the reason why you have to carry that thing for a while is because while you're carrying it, the Most High is teaching you things and He is watering you in the process. So that when the tree is of a mature state, or when your craft do come to full maturity, it will produce fruit which will become a living in your life. And it will be the people that pick and choose from amongst what you have versus what everybody else have. Now, you got 1,000 things on one table, but it's one thing on one table. It's one thing out of that 1,000 that many people keep walking by, picking up. Many people keep picking that up. Many people keep picking that, even though they got 1,000 other items to choose from. Why do they keep picking out that specific thing? They pick it out because of the time and the energy and the sweat and the blood that have been put in that thing manifest themselves just like a tree that have been watered. It manifests itself when the fruit comes out, and people come by that tree because they can see those things. They don't just buy it just because. And we sometimes get lost in the fact of, well, I'm doing this for the Lord. I'm doing this for the Lord. And so everybody that loves the Lord should automatically do it. But no, that's not so. That's not, because you can offer the Lord something that He's not receiving. Now let me show you what I mean. You can offer the Most High something that He's not receiving. I'm going to show you what I mean, because this is going to come to a challenge, because we want to see all of our brothers and sisters blessed no matter what craft that they're dealing in. And if the Most High can't lie and He say that a man's gift going to make room for him, then guess what? If the gift ain't making room, then guess what? It's something else that we might need to look a little bit deeper on. But the thing is that we got to cover all bases. So let's go back here. Let's go here. We want brothers to be getting breakthroughs. All praises to the Most High. Shalom to all my brothers that's on the thread. I see all of y'all this morning. Let's go to Matthew chapter 5, verse 23. Brothers and sisters that are seeking to give the Most High a service, one of the first things that you have to ask if you find yourself in this situation is the Most High accepting what it is that I'm offering? Because generally the service that we have chosen to give to the Most High is for the sake of the brothers and sisters. However, the thing that we are offering to the Most High, He don't always receive. So you can be investing all of your time and your energy into a service that you're giving to the Most High that He ain't even receiving. The Pharisees and the scribes did the same thing in Matthew chapter 15, verse 9. He told, in vain are you worshiping me, because you're teaching for a doctrine the commandments of men. Now, when you start dealing with the commandments of men, you're dealing with, am I doing what the Most High deemed for me to do? Or am I just doing this according to my own understanding? And is this the reason why it's not producing? I'm not saying that this is the reason why it's not producing, but it is something to think about. Because if we're going to do it, then we have to look at everything while we're offering our gift, but we're not getting the same blessing back from it. It says, therefore, if you bring thy gift to the altar, this is a gift. Your truth music is a gift. Your clothing line is a gift, because everything that you are doing is talking about the Most High. It's representing the Most High, the God of war, the oil, and all of that. It's representation of the Most High. It is our gift back to him as we seek to serve the brothers and sisters. He said, but if you bring your gift to the altar and there rememberest. You see, because the remembering part is important. Because the Messiah appointed the Spirit. And one of the jobs of the Spirit is that he would bring all things back to our remembrance that will connect us with our blessedness. And the reason why he brings things back to our remembrance is that sometimes when we try to minister to people, we don't know exactly what to do. And he'll bring a scripture back to our remembrance so that they can see the power of the Most High. And then sometimes we have sins that we are not knowledgeable of, that the Most High don't want our flow to be clogged up. So he used the Spirit to bring things back to our remembrance. In this particular case, we are dealing with, is the Most High accepting what it is that you're offering? And so it said, if you go to bring your gift to the altar, and then there remembrance. You see, the remembering part is the Most High's way of trying to unclog the flow. If the Spirit make you remember something, your flow is clogged up. He said, when you remember that you have an ought with your brother, then you leave your gift at the altar. And then you go reconcile your difference with your brother. And then you come back and I'll accept what you offer. Well, that's something to think about. Because we have to understand that in this world that we live in this life that we live in, we have to live with each other. And sometimes we bump up against each other in our pursuit of the Most High's righteousness because our perspective or our understanding is different. Sometimes we have disagreements, and sometimes we have arguments and fallouts that do not get reconciled. And so when I get ready to put that poetry on wax, when I get ready to put that poetry on wax, one of the first things that I have to understand is that the Spirit is going to remind me if there's something clogging up my flow. Now, there be many times, because there are still many brothers that are at odds with each other. There are still many brothers that have too much pride to apologize, to humble themselves, and they seem not to realize that it's not the reason. It's not because you're not getting support that you're not growing. It's because your flow is clogged up, and when the Most High sends the Spirit to you to make you remember before you offer your gift, you neglect that Spirit and you just offer your gift anyway, and the gift falls on deaf ears because the Most High ain't accepting it. So this is something that you have to look at. Is it anybody that's in my life that I have ought against? Is it anybody in my life that I have done wrong? Or is it anybody in my life that have done wrong? Because if I have done wrong, I need to hash that out with my brother so I can be forgiven, so my brother can be restored. And if my brother have done me wrong, I got to go to my brother and give my brother the opportunity to repent so that I can have the opportunity to forgive him. And if I'm in this position and I know that I have things that I ain't dealt with, when the Spirit come to remind me of them, then guess what? He said, I ain't accepting the gift that you offering. I ain't accepting it. So that's another thing that has to be thought about, because everything is not coming from the outside. Sometimes things are coming from the inside. You see? And when we have oughts against the Most High, oughts against our brothers, and the Spirit reminds us, we separate ourselves from the Most High. And there are many brothers out there who are separated from the Most High because of this issue, yet they continue to try to offer a gift that he ain't receiving. So when we want to start seeing brothers be blessed, we want to be balanced with these videos, but sometimes you have to be able to eat down the strong meat. You got to be able to eat the strong meat up. You see? Now, one of the reasons why the brothers in the world get blessed is because they work for the world. And even though the principles are opposite, they get the same blessing. You see? Because they don't have to bless each other. Because as long as they doing harm to each other, Satan got their flow flowing. But if they ever in the world come back to try to do things in the Most High's way, Satan will clog their flow up. And there's some brothers in the world right now who have great craft, but their flow is clogged up by Satan because they're trying to produce a good thing in a wicked world and a secular system. So Satan has their flow clogged up. And then the people that work for Satan come and make them understand, hey, you know what? Satan ain't offering. He ain't accepting what you offering, because what you're offering is not what's required of you. But if you want to make it in this business, here's what you're going to have to offer him. You're going to have to offer him some madness, some murder, some mayhem. He said, when you start offering him that I'll unclog your flow. And if Satan can unclog a man's flow for producing wickedness in the world, then surely the Most High can unclog a man's flow for producing righteousness in the world. But this is just how it is. The Most High has to be accepting what it is that you offering. And we have all of the evidences. Because when we start offering things, we go back to what Psalms say, delight yourself in the Lord, and he shall give unto thee the desires of thy heart. The desires of your heart, it's going to be to delight yourself in his law, both day and night. And it's going to be that delight in the righteousness of the Most High that calls you to be like a tree planted by rivers of water. And it's going to cause and that planted by rivers of water, the Most High watering you as you get those things out of your way, is what's going to cause you to produce fruit. And when that thing that you're doing start producing fruit, he said your leaf also shall not wither. That means that once that fruit start coming out, it don't make no difference who try to come against it. They will never be able to hamper the blessing. In its season it will bring forth fruit, and its leaf also shall not wither. And whatsoever I do shall prosper. Because when we get to the place where the Most High wants us to be, and we understand the principles that the Most High wants us to be, once we start producing fruit, that tree produces fruit on a regular basis. He said his leaves will not wither, and whatever he do shall prosper. Why? Because everything that he do is based on his delight in the Most High. And his delight in the Most High, he get the instruction of the Most High from meditating in his law day and night. And as he meditate, he becomes watered by the Most High Spirit to be able to know when to do this, when to do that, what should I do over here, what should I do over here, if I done that wrong, how to fix it, how to correct it. And when we understand these principles, he said it ain't nothing that can come against this blessing. And that's what we want our brothers and sisters to understand. Because the word of the Most High is going to go forth in the word. And whether he is going forth, whether he's giving you a ministry to be able to speak and make videos such as this, whether he's giving you a ministry to be able to use poetry and music combined, whether he's giving you a ministry to produce clothing, whether he's giving you a ministry of helps, whatever the ministry is that he has given us, it has to be governed by the same principles if we're going to get the same results. So with that being said, let me cut this heat down just for a second. I got two important things I'm about to bring to the forefront. And these are going to be very important if you can receive it. They're going to be very important if you can receive it. And these are some familiar passages of scripture because we have already done a video on these things using these particular scriptures. So, now, this is coming out of the book of the Wars of the Jews, out of the book of Josephus. And it's chapter 1. No, it's chapter 8. It's chapter 8. And it's verse 6. It says, whatsoever, wait a minute, let me see. It says, but swearing is avoided by them, The them is talking about the men that was following the Messiah. Those men that were called Nazarites, also known as Essenes. Now, it says, but swearing is avoided by them, and they esteem it worse than perjury. For they say, he who cannot be believed without swearing by God is already condemned. Now, it says swearing was almost like perjury to them. They didn't believe the swearing. What is it? What does it mean to swear? I swear before God. God is my witness. These are all the terminologies that we attempt to use as it relates to persuading people that the work that we are doing is of the Most High. But here he's saying, if the work that you're doing for the Most High can't be believed with your life, then you don't have no business trying to put God's name on everything, thinking that that's going to prompt God's people to move on your behalf. You see, the tree don't have to brag about the fruit that's hanging off the limbs. When people see the fruit hanging on the tree, they know that the tree is planted by water, because the fruit is a representation of what's contained in the tree. And so it's the same way with the brothers. Now, let me give you some examples of what we do. When it comes to our music or our craft or whatever it is, the first thing we do is we swear by the Most High. But those things have to be coming out of your life, and the Most High's name don't have to be on them, because the Most High need to be in here. He need to be inside, not out there. This is what he's saying. You don't have to swear by God. He said we esteem that worse than perjury, because the life is what's supposed to represent the Most High. I don't have to go around and bragging about people, about how great the Most High is. If I think the Most High is that great, then the people should see that coming out of my life, not by my words. That's what the scriptures say. Let your light so shine before men that they may give your Father who is in heaven glory. He said, let your light so shine, not your words. In him was life, and the light that was in him became the light that would reside in men, that other men would see. He didn't say in him was words, and the words became the life of men. It didn't say let your good words show before men that they would give your Father in heaven glory. It said let your light so shine. But the only way that your light can shine is that the light that was in Hamashiach had to now be in you. And your delight has to be in him, to the point to where all of your energy is invested into this thing right here. I don't have to put nothing on it. Do the world, look at the secular world, do they have to put live music on their videos and on their albums in order for the music to sell? Then what makes a man think because he put truth music on his craft that that's going to enhance his selling or make somebody buy it? No, people going to buy things that they can identify with, and those things that come from the heart will reach the heart. Now, another thing is when we start talking about investing energy and time into your craft, that goes a long way. We're not talking about just being able to sit down and pray to the Most High to give me words to speak or give me a new catchy phrase that I can use. We're not talking about that, because once he gave you one, it got to be made manifest. It got to be made manifest from the invisible world and brought into the physical world, and then it has to have exposure. So many times our brothers don't put the energy into the right place as it relates to exposure. We got to do everything that we're supposed to do. Because when you see what the world is doing, the world knows that the world could not have anybody if it was not for telemarketing. And telemarketing is the biggest, among the biggest industry on the world, because every product that comes out has to be advertised. And they don't just throw any kind of advertisement out there. Look at, in the majority of our brothers, when it comes to advertising or telemarketing, the only thing that we can use is truth music. But that's not good enough. So we are talking about how to unclog the flow of whatever it is that we're doing. Now, I've been saving what's really behind this for last. And now I'm about to bring it forth. Because I want to show you, brothers, what's really happening. And it don't make no difference what arena that you in. The Most High's word ain't going to change. Somebody going to get the breakthrough. Now, we got some brothers out here that's in the truth music industry that are being prosperous. They're doing what Daniel claimed that they would do in the last days. Men are running to and fro. They're running from one city to the next city, to the next city, to the next city, all over the country. And sometimes you got to look at some of the things that the other brothers is doing and say, why is this brother prospering and why am my craft laying dormant? The brother doing something. He doing something that the next brother ain't doing. You see? And we still have not developed that genuine spirit of love to be able to deal with each other. You should be able to go to my brother and say, man, you know what? I've been on my craft for all of these years, man. And you came on the scene and you've been on your craft for a short time. I ain't jealous of you and I ain't trying to say that you don't deserve it, man. But can you share with me some of the things that you are doing that we can't see? That's causing your craft to blow up? We both gifted with writing. We both gifted with lyrics. We both have access to the same music as it relates to sampling, but something is different. You are blowing up and I'm not. You will be surprised what that brother can share with you. You would be blown away what that brother can share with you if you come to that brother in the spirit of love and not in the spirit of jealousy. And many times, this is what another thing that we have to deal with. The Most High ain't accepting no gift that we're trying to give to him, and it's born out of jealousy and envy is wrapped up in there. And we can't deny that these things are existent. But many times, we want to push those things to the back as though they're not there. You see? We're not just talking about the music factor. An offer for the service of the Most High. You ever wonder why some people's videos have thousands of views and then other people's videos have hundreds of views, and then some people's videos don't even get out of the double digits? Do you ever wonder why? There is a reason why it's like that. And either it's like that because the Most High is clogging up the flow, or the Most High is still yet watering the craft, and at the appointed season it'll bring forth its fruit. But it is up to the individual to be able to go in there and look in the spirit and be able to make the determination. For the Bible says that the Most High will not withhold no good thing to them that love him. And when we love him, we approach him as a child approaches a teacher, asking and looking for an answer. We can approach him and ask him, Father, why is it that my craft is not producing the things that I desire it to produce? And if we start asking the Most High the right questions, he will show us, because that is the promise that he is making to us. But many times, many brothers know already what the problem is. And then we make excuses as though we don't have anything to do with it. It's everybody else's fault that nobody won't buy my music, or it's everybody else's fault, but it's not always everybody else's fault. Sometimes we have to look at other things. And when we generally want to seek the Most High to be blessed, and hear me, brothers, hear me. I am not in no type of way saying that the reason why people's stuff ain't blew up through the roof is because they are out of order with the Most High. That is not what I'm saying. We are just putting a pin in different areas so that we can be able to analyze the broad scope of what the Bible says should be coming out of our crafts. Now, here's what's at the root of it. We're going to read this scripture coming out of the 38th chapter of the book of Sirach. That's what we're going to do. Sirach, also known by Ecclesiasticus. Now, any gift that we offering to the Most High requires wisdom from the Most High. You see? Now, I'm not going to use myself in no way to try to set myself apart from everybody else. I'm not going to do that. And so I'm going to say what I'm not saying before I say what I am saying. There are some areas in my own life that I have been blessed to put energy in and then blessed to benefit from. So the Most High can bless you. But there are also some areas in my life that I have been unwilling to put the energy in, and I don't get no blessing for that. It's like a picking and a choosing, because you can't have the best of the spiritual world and the worldly world. One of them got to go. One of them comes as a result of the other. Those that deny the world of the spirituality of the Most High receive power in this world because Satan loves his own. But those that seek to the spirit of the Most High and invest their time in it, they lose the ability to have the riches of this world that the world would produce. So I can put all of my energy into the Most High and gain wisdom in a particular area. At the same time, I can suffer because of the energy I refuse to invest into the things of this world. That is why, as for myself, I can sit down on Facebook and I can open up the books and I can encourage my brothers with the word of the Most High, because my energy on a daily basis gets put in here. When I'm not reading, I'm thinking and meditating. If I'm not thinking and meditating, I'm looking at a video on YouTube dealing with the word. If I'm not looking at a video on YouTube dealing with the word, then I'm listening to the word. So the whole life, both day and night, is literally consumed with the word of the Most High. And every now and then, there's a sprinkle of sin that jumps in there, but that don't stay that long. You see? However, when it comes to the things of this world, I struggle paying my own bills. I struggle being broke and not being able to do the things that I would like to do. I struggle because sometimes brothers and sisters might want me to come to their city or their state and encourage some brothers and sisters, but I don't have plane fare to get there. I can't afford the hotel. I can't just go get a rental car and drive where I want to go because of the time and the energy that have been invested into the service of the Most High. Don't give me the freedom to focus on the things in the world and the reaping up of worldly pleasures and money. It has to be a choice that is made. So every now and then, even though I might be broke because I don't have the energy to invest in going to work every day, I'm not going to work for nobody's job. That means that I automatically gonna suffer because I don't have no money coming in. But in my mind, I'm convinced that the Most High shall supply all of my needs according to his riches and his glory. So he'll allow my house to get paid for. He'll allow me to have little business, and so my bills are at a minimum. And the things that I suffer with, somebody can sneeze and it'll be done. But I'm just painting you that picture. For some of you brothers can understand, every gift that you give in the Most High is not going to be designed to produce a living for you. Some gifts that you give to the Most High are going to make you rich in the spirit, but you will be impoverished in the world that you are living in. And one of the things that's draining the life out of our brothers with these gifts is that too many things have been centered around making money when the Most High may not be using your gift to make a living for you. He may want you to just sacrifice your life and use your gift for him while he takes care of the things that you need. And I can assure you that you won't always have the things that you want, but you will have the things that you need. I'm a living witness of that. There have been times that I'll be on my last dime and have things that need to be done, and then I'll look up and somebody will be to send me a money order in the mail. $25. Oh, praise to the Most High. My gas hand was on E. When you serving the Most High, this is where you at. You're at his mercy. You see? So this next thing that we're going to go to is going to be going into dealing with wisdom that comes from the Most High as we seeking to serve him. Because when he gives us his wisdom, it stamps out our worry. We don't worry. Why would I worry about anything? Why would I worry about paying my bills just because I don't have a job? And me not having a job don't have anything to do with me being slothful. See, I have a job. My job is being invested into the Most High's vineyard. There is a difference. You see, me not having a job don't make me just lay around and sleep all day. Me not having a job giving me the necessary time that I need, that I can get in the Father's word, because before I come on Facebook, I have to be to approach the Father. I have to be to got into his word. And that's labor. It's not slothfulness or laziness. I do not work a job because I'm lazy. I've worked all my life, 35 years. Ever since I was a young man, I've always worked. First job I ever had, I was 17 years old, and I washed 30 cars and vacuumed them every single day on a car lot to get $30. You see? I done worked all my life. My working has nothing to do with not being lazy. It just came to a point as the desire to serve the Most High started to really take over. I had a desire now. I wish I didn't have to work. I wish I had the freedom so that I could be able to go to the hospital if one of my brothers was sick. I wish I had the freedom to be able to run down there and marry one of the young kings that want to make the right choice and take a I wish I had the time on my hands to where when somebody called me and needs something that we can sit there and have a prayer. I wish I had the time that I could just expound on the word. When I get a brother and sister that's trying to learn something, call me. And see, when I'm working, that can't happen because I can't talk on the phone. I can't leave if somebody is in trouble. I can't go to nobody's aid when I'm bound by somebody. I can't serve the Most High in the capacity that I desire to. So when you start talking about blessedness, too many of us measure our blessedness by things. The success of a man's life cannot be measured in the abundance of things that he possesses. And it is not wise when we compare ourselves one to another. Both of those were scriptures. The success of a man's life cannot be measured by the abundance of things that we possess. But oftentimes we look at the success that's coming at us. We look at the things that other people are possessing that are coming from their gift. And then we think that that's what success is. And just the very fact that we're looking at what's coming from somebody else's gift, the Most High saying that all by itself, you ain't close enough to me, boy, because you're seeing it. It's not wise when you compare yourself one to another. I set one up and I bring another one down. But whether I set one up and bring one down, it is my purpose and it is my will. And so you got to be encouraged to know that when you're giving a father a gift, he don't always set you up. Sometimes he set one down and he keep one lowly because he knew if he set him up, then that gift would be translated into something wicked. He said, I set one down and I bring one up. I'm the one that's in charge of promotion. So let's go to the book. Let's go to, this is Sirach, 38th chapter. And we're going to reinforce this. To all of our brothers that are exercising crafts and offering gifts to the Most High. This is what it's going to take for your craft to be accepted. It's going to be tough. But if you say you're doing it for the Most High, he who finds his life in Yeshua HaMashiach must lose his life in HaMashiach or Jesus the Christ. But he who loses his life, that's he who dedicates his life to the service of Yeshua HaMashiach or Jesus the Messiah. Even though his old life was dead, yet shall he live. He will live now being sustained by the rivers of water, which represent the life of the Spirit that gives the tree its wisdom to produce fruit. But it had to be done the Most High's way. So it says, verse 24 of the 38th chapter of the book of Sirach, also known as the book of Ecclesiasticus. The wisdom of a learned man comes by opportunity of leisure, and he that have little business shall become wise. See, when we want to become wise, there is a great investment that has to be made. When you want to become wise in the things of the Most High, there is a great blessing. I have one of my Christian brothers on here right now. His name is Chloe Miller. And I was a male chorus member, okay? And I just sang. But there was a point in time that while the male chorus was sang, we would sometimes suffer because of the musicians were not always able to be with us. Henceforth, one particular time, the group didn't want to sing because we didn't have any musicians. And so I asked them, are you dedicating this gift to the Most High, or are you just doing it to be seen of people? Well, we doing it for the Most High. Well, even if you don't have a single musician around, if you're doing it for the Most High, then you get out there and you do the best that you can do with what you got to do and let the Spirit make up the difference. And we got out there and we sang with no music and everything. And I told them brothers, I said, I understand that this is going to happen from time to time. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to the Most High and I'm going to pray that the Most High will teach me how to play the bass guitar. And we had many of the brothers that laughed at that and they mocked that. And many of the musicians mocked that too. Oh, he don't know. And I ain't never picked up a guitar in my life. I never became no great musician, but I did, however, learn the music to every song that we sang as a male chorus. And I was able to play the bass guitar so that anytime a musician wasn't there, we could still go on and do what it was that we was doing. In the process of being in this group, I met this individual named Chloe Miller, who was a gifted guitar player and bass player and singer. But as one thing I understand, there is no way that anybody can become as talented as my brother when it comes to playing that guitar without investing the energy. And when I asked him about how do I learn how to play, he said, you got to pick it up every day. He said, I don't miss a day. I pick it up every day and I play it every day. And that evidence comes out of his life because sometimes you can see him on Facebook Live and he'll be in the Guitar Center or anywhere that they sell instruments. He don't just practice at home. He'll go to the guitar shop and practice on all of the different guitars that's hanging up there. But the point that's being made is that he is one of the greatest musicians that I've ever come to know. Even as it relates, he could be in the secular world. He could play with any band in the local town. He could be backing up some of the biggest bands and some of the biggest groups in the world because that's how talented he is. But he makes a choice to invest that energy into what the Most High. Now, here's the key. Does that mean that Chloe Miller don't work? No, it don't mean that. Because Chloe Miller was just like me. He works and cuts grass. But here's the issue. It's the time and energy that's being invested into the thing that he is offering the Most High. Does that outweigh the time and the energy that's invested into making money? You see? And hands down. Because he is a far more excellent musician than he will ever be. One that cuts grass. Though when you start putting the gift in the right place, you can become great at both things. I want to use that brother as an example. You see? Because you don't just get what the Most High have without investing the time and the energy that it takes to become great. The wisdom of a learned man come by way of leisure. and by he who have little business. If you don't have the time to invest in the thing, how are you going to become wise in it? If you think that you can just jump behind a microphone after you done wrote some song and just invest a couple of hours energy in it, see, because everything has been made easy now. It's easy to make a song. You don't even have to have the whole song remembered. You can do the song in part and put it on wax, but when you go live, it's going to show how much energy you have invested. King Moshe, that's my son. That's my big baby right there. That's my brother. That's my big baby. And he is doing things in poetic form. But one of the things I tell him, and I ain't never going to get off of him about it, is that you got to spend more energy on your craft. Because when you see somebody like Twister them jump behind the microphone, they ain't got to have no music behind them. And they not going to miss a beat, and they not going to forget a single word of their lyrics. But when we have many brothers that's in troop music, you understand what I'm saying? That have to sing with their record in order to keep up with their words. That is a sign that the energy is not being invested. You see? So you may do it on wax, but the people might come to support you live. In most cases, our brothers, when we get supported live, we don't even charge nobody anything. Well, sometimes you can easily feel or slip into the mindset, well, since I ain't getting paid, I ain't got to invest that much energy into it. I'm not saying that that's the case. I'm just looking at some things that I would like to bring to the forefront, to challenge some of my brothers and sisters. One of the things that I challenge my big baby with, King Moshe, is I say, I want to see you practicing more, because I don't want to see you singing with the song that you made in the studio. I want to see you singing with the instrumental music. Oh, see, we taking brothers to a whole nother level of challenging, because we're talking about energy. If you make the song and you write the lyrics, then guess what? Part of your craft is going to be invested enough energy into where you can remember them. And so when we come out live and we come out using the instrumental, that's where it's going to count. And if I put a lot of brothers behind an instrumental track, they'll stumble and they'll trip and they'll fall. It's not because they're not gifted, and it's not because they can't do it. It will be because there is a lapse of energy somewhere. You see? So just the same way that the brother had to pray to the Most High to give him words, and then he had to write the words down, and then he had to sing the words and format the words, a brother got to continue to put his energy in there that the Most High would allow him to remember the words, and those things come with practice. The same thing that I hear on the track is the same thing I want to hear when you go live, and I don't want to hear it with your voice behind it already. This is not putting my brothers down. This is challenge them. The wisdom of a learned man come by way of opportunity. You see? And he that would be wise have little business. Many of our brothers that are in these situations, they have been given and granted opportunity of leisure. That means you have the time to invest in it. You have the time to do it. You have the time to do it over and over again. And I'm tell you a story, and then I'm going to move on with the scripture. We was out of town, and we was, I believe, where was we at? We was in Ohio. We somewhere out of town. I don't know what city, what state. And King came and said, he said, well, Elder, they want me to sing this. I said, well, sing it then. He said, well, I ain't sung it for a while. You know what I mean? I said, so what? Ain't it your song? He said, yeah, it is my song. I said, then what you do from this point on, now you get to reciting them lyrics. You get to reciting them lyrics, and you go over that dang on song until you got every last lyric recited. Because when people request for you to do something, you should do it, because you don't know who that's going to bless. You recite that song over and over again. And a couple of times, it was a particular couple of verses that he kept stumbling over. But that's okay. Go back over it again. That's what I tell him. Nope, stop, go back over it again. Nope, stop, go back over again. And even though it was his song, he had to invest a little bit more energy into it to get it like it was supposed to be. Even though he had written it, even though he had put it on wax, even though he had done all of those things, he still would trip over a particular part because he had not put enough energy into going over the song and over it 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 to the point to where, and you know what? When King got up and sang that song, he didn't miss a beat. That make my heart good. He didn't miss a single beat. He didn't miss a single word or a single lyric. Even though his voice was he was still singing off of the track, the original track. He did not miss a single beat. Let me tell you something, brothers. Can't accept constructive criticism, there is no way possible for you to grow. I have seen many brothers, and I'm not just talking about the brothers with the poetry. I'm just talking about the brothers with the poetry because they the most prevalent one, and they are the most out front people outside of those that are teaching the word. They are the next in line. You had the priests and the prophets. Then you had the praisers. You see, they are next in line. So the accountability and the ability the Most High have given people in entertainment to reach people, they are the next great entity that the Most High is going to use. And so they have to be held to the same level of accountability that one that would get out here and teach the word would. Nobody want to listen to. You see how many brothers that call themselves teachers, that pick the Bible up and stumble and trip all over their words, can't find the scriptures that they use, and this and that and the other. All of that is a lack of energy. It is a lack of the investment of the type of time that the Most High says that it takes for a man to gain wisdom. But when you have opportunity of leisure, that means the Most High put you in a place to where you don't have no whole lot to do, and you have little business. You can't use that time that you got spending hours upon hours doing something else. He give you that leisure so that you can invest all that time and energy into the gift that you're going to offer him. And if you're doing anything other than that, then the gift that you're offering him is no different than the children, than our forefathers. He said, don't come and bring me no blemished creature. You bring me something and it's sick. If you bring me something that got disease, and you expect me to bless you for this? You better get out of here. I ain't blessing you for that mess. You might have the people food, but you ain't got me food. I ain't blessing that. If you're going to bless me, you're going to bring me the best thing that you got. So leisure come by, your craft, it comes by way of leisure. As we said about Chloe Miller. See, I could never be as great as Chloe Miller. You understand why? Because first of all, my energy was never sought to be a musician. I only sought to learn how to play the bass guitar so that the male chorus wouldn't suffer. But I knew that I would never be able to understand the world of music in that manner. I don't know how to read notes. I don't know how to read music. I don't know what the bars are. I don't know what the notes are. Barely know what the frets on the guitar are. I don't know all the different keys. I don't know the B flat from the B. I don't know the minor from the anything. I knew I was never going to be a great musician because I didn't have the time and the energy to invest into being a great musician. However, I knew what I did want to be. I wanted to be a spokesman for the Most High, and so that is where I put my energy at. And because of that, the Most High gave me wisdom through leisure to be able to learn every song. And I never learned it from the notes. I learned it from the finger movement. You show me where to put my fingers at and I can play the guitar. And that's how I learned. So I never went outside of that. I couldn't pick the guitar up and play along with other people because I didn't understand music. But when the male chorus got to sing, I did remember where my fingers were supposed to go. And no matter how many movements that my fingers had to make, the Most High had given me the wisdom and the grace to remember what I was shown. And so even though the male chorus had 20 songs with 20 different bass lines, I could play every one of them and never even knew what note or what keys that you would be in. I knew what key to be in by where they told me, you put your finger right here on the 3rd fret and that's a C, or you put your finger right here and hit the open string and that's an F, and that's where we start. I knew those things based on what had been shown to me. I didn't know them because I was a musician. You see? And this is how the Most High is when we do things. He said the wisdom of a learned man comes by opportunity of leisure, because you can't learn unless the Most High give you time to study your craft. You want to take over the world? We got the word of God. We can take over the world. We can take over the whole secular music industry if we can get our brothers to invest the same energy that the world is investing into their craft. You see? Because I assure you ain't none of them brothers going nowhere. If they get before them studio people and they forgetting their lyrics and all that, they ain't going nowhere. So if this is what you going to do, where you think you going? And if this is what you're doing, what gives you the right to think anybody's supposed to buy your music? Why should anybody buy anything that the proper amount of time have not been invested in? And we're not talking to all of the brothers, because all of the brothers don't line up in the same category. And what we're saying is not a letdown or a put down for the brothers as much as it is an edification for the brothers, and to challenge them that God don't accept no junk. Either you're going to give him everything that you got with your whole heart, or find another area that you can give him everything from your whole heart. Let's go. Let's go. So this is what it is. Okay, so it says, for how can he get wisdom that holdeth the plow, and glorieth in the gold, that driveth oxen, and is occupied in all their labors, whose talk is of bullocks? Now, you'll always know what it is that you love and where your heart's at, because what your heart loves, your mouth gonna talk about. Are you eat, breathing, and talking about the craft or the gift that you're trying to offer the Most High? When you sit down and you're making your garments, is your talk all continuously about the gift? You talk about what's in your heart, because what's in your heart is what's constantly on your mind. Is what's constantly on mind the craft that you're giving to the Most High? When you're sitting down trying to figure out what kind of phrase you're going to put on your garment, or you sit down making your garments, is that what you're talking about consistently on a daily basis? Or is the thing that you're talking about getting on everybody's nerves to the point to where they just tired see you, that this is what's coming out of your mouth and this is what you're going to be talking about? Let me ask you, is it your craft that's driving them crazy that you're talking about? Because if it's not your craft that's driving them crazy, then your energy is being given to something else. You see? Now, I think it's the Most High. I don't say, try to be careful not to say the Most High, because some things just come into our mind and we just feel like the Most High did it. I would like to believe that the Spirit spoke to me some years ago and said, okay, it's time to close your mouth. He said, people can reject your words, but they cannot deny your demonstration. This go back to what we read in Josephus. You don't have to be talking about people all the time about me. People need to see you demonstrating. Quit talking about the Most High. Every time the Most High come out of your mouth, he said, you talking about that stuff so much to where it's starting to get on people's nerves. It's starting to drive them crazy. They don't even want you around. Soon as you come up, they know where you're going. You're about to start preaching to somebody. You're about to start quoting scripture to somebody. It seems like you can't even have a regular conversation without you opening up your mouth talking about the Most High. But you talk about what it is that you love. And when you try to give the Most High a gift out of your life, this is what you're going to talk about. And you'll talk about it so much to where it becomes annoying to people. That's your craft. How can he be wise whose talk is about other things other than his craft? You see? These are some simple principles of wisdom. So he talks about the man that's plowing with the ox. And then he goes and talks about the carpenter that beautifies houses. And how in his spare time, his talk is about the carpentry. Well, I need to get me some new tools. My drill broke today. I couldn't find my screwdriver set. Have anybody seen my hammer? Boy, I went in there and I laid that ceiling up. We put some new lights in the house. That was good. Man, you should have seen what we did to that floor. Oh, it was beautiful. Oh, boy, we redid that bathroom, man. And we put them marble counters in the kitchen. And we did. He said the carpenter, he talks about his craft because that's what he eats, sleeps, drinks, and breathes. What he loves, he talks about. Because when he lie down and go to bed, he's dreaming of what he's going to do to somebody's house and how he can make it more beautiful. He said, how can he be wise? Who is a carpenter, who is consumed with carpentry. How can he be wise when his talk is about tools and floors and all of that? How can he be wise and have the wisdom of the Most High? Then he goes on and talk about the workmaster or the brick mason who builds or erects building. How can he be wise when his talk is about scaffoldings and bricks and mortar? How can he be wise when he is dealing with roofing materials and all of these things? Because he is consumed with his craft and his work. So he cannot lay hold on the wisdom of the Most High. He said, or the potter, for instance, who's sitting at the wheel. How can he be wise when he is consumed with whether the furnace is clean? He is consumed with his pottery and how to keep it straight and how to form something and how to turn it into glass and how to gloss it and how to shine it and how to fashion it. He is consumed with that. How can he be wise when his talk is about pottery? It's what the Most High is saying. What you love, you're going to talk about because you become literally consumed with it. No? See? Look at the dope dealer. Dope dealer ain't running around here talking about nothing else. He may go buy him some clothes, but he ain't running around here talking about no clothes. Why do we need to talk about clothes when he got money to go and buy him the clothes? He don't have to talk about clothes. He go buy the clothes and then let the clothes talk for themselves. Man, them some bad Nikes you got on, boy. Boy, I like that shirt. He go buy the clothes and then let people talk about the clothes that he buy. What he talks about is he talk about how he gonna make his dollar. Man, I got to get me another key, man. Boy, my stuff getting low. Man, it's a drought out here, man. Hey, you seen that nigga that owe me my money? You know what? What you love, you talk about. But you can't be wise in the Most High's wisdom unless what you're talking about is being consumed with the Most High's business. He says, you got the blacksmith too. The blacksmith making all type of stuff. The blacksmith dealing with iron, he dealing with steel, he dealing with anything that's made out of them products. You know what? Making guns and everything. He ain't got time to, he can't have the Most High's wisdom. All of his energy is invested into producing the thing that he is making. So his talk is about his craft. Man, I got burnt today, man. I got burnt today, boy. You should, God, man, it left a mark. Almost branded me. Man, it's so hot in there. I don't feel like going to that place today. Boy, that heat just teared me up. Man, them sparks were jumping all off. I looked up, man, a piece of my hair was on fire because the spark jumped up in there. See, the blacksmith in his craft, he come home, and that's what he talking about. He ain't talking about the Most High. He ain't talking about anything. He ain't talking about anything. He talking about what he loves. The Most High said, how can you be wise when you are consumed with this particular work? You can't have my wisdom like that. And brothers and sisters that are seeking to offer the Most High a craft, you can't have his wisdom like that. You have to be wholeheartedly dedicated You have to be dedicated to the point to where you say, listen, I trust you, but I need you to give me some faith that I ain't got right now. Because I'm still trying to offer you this craft, but I can't see myself letting go of this job. Well, if the craft that you're trying to offer to the Most High, if you don't have the faith enough to believe that the Most High could cause you to have a living produced by that because of your sacrifice, then you need to start praying in some other areas. Because these are the things that the vast majority of the people that are offering the Most High service, this is what's required of them. This is what's required of you. You have to do it with your whole heart, knowing that you'll receive the reward from the Most High. Faith that's untested is not faith at all. Let's continue and wrap this up. It says, all of these people that talk about their craft, that are great in their craft because the amount of energy that they've invested into it. He said, all of these trust their hands. See that? They trust their hands. They don't trust the Most High. They trust their hands. And everyone is wise in his work. They trust their hands and they're wise in their work. Here you go. 2 Timothy 2:16. Study to show yourself approved, a workman that need not be ashamed, that can rightfully divide the word of truth. Now let me show you. Let me draw a line of distinction. How that can work, both in the Most High's kingdom and in the world. It is working in the Most High's kingdom because when it was written, it was pertaining to the things that we offer, to the gifts that we offer to the Most High. In this particular case, we were to study to show ourselves approved unto the Most High as it relates to the work that the Most High will have us doing. Whether you was going to preach the word, teach the word, whether you was going to rap the word, sing the word, whether you was going to produce clothing to get the word out, whether you was going to have a gift, whatever it was that you was doing, where the word was concerned. He said, you study to show yourself approved unto the Most High. That you can do this and not be ashamed of it and rightfully divide the word of truth. In this particular case, he was dealing with rightfully dividing the word of truth and dealing with the teaching ability and the preaching ability. But the same thing applies to those that will put the word on music. Study to show yourself approved as a workman that need not be ashamed. See, the only time anybody experiences shame is when they have not put the necessary energy into whatever it is that they're doing. And when you have not put the necessary energy into what you have done, the Most High will withhold his blessing from you. And you will mess up, you will stumble, you will trip. You'll stitch the wrong thing. Your fringes will be crooked. It'll be something. But when you have studied to show yourself approved unto the Most High, not to men. Many of the things that we are doing in this world, we are doing them to be seen of men. But when we start doing it for the Most High, I don't have no reason to be ashamed. If the PA system went out and they couldn't play the CD, I could still get up there and I can have people clapping along. I can have people clapping along and I can come in the hip, the hop, the hibby, to the hibby, the hip, the hobby, you don't stop. Rocking to the bang, bang, boogie, say up, jump the boogie to the rhythm of the boogie, the beat. You see, our forefathers and the people that laid the groundwork and the foundation to the poetic industry, they had invested enough energy into that they would take it in 30 years to taking over the whole music industry in the world because of the energy that they've invested. You see? And it's going to be the same way. Tommy Hilfigers and the Nikes, the Polos, all of that. Those stuff doesn't just pop up on the scene out of nowhere. You're talking about people that not only invest their livelihood and their mentality and their understanding, they also invest all of their money, everything that they had. They put it in there. Said everyone trusts their hands and everyone is wise in their work. They're wise in their work because they have studied to show themselves approved as it relates to the work. Though everybody don't study to show themselves approved unto God, that still does not stop it from producing the same result. Because it is built on a set of physical principles and physical laws that have to be operated in this world. He said, and without these gifts and these crafts, a city cannot be inhabited. And they shall not dwell where they will, nor go up and down. They shall not be sought for in public council, nor sit in the congregation. They shall not sit on the judge's seat, nor understand the sentence of judgment. They cannot declare justice and judgment, and they shall not be found where parables are. See, he's drawing a line of distinction now between those people that put all of their energy into their craft and to things of this world. It does not mean that their craft is not needed, because their craft will maintain the state of the world. Without these crafts, a city could not be inhabited. He said, but when it comes to the wisdom of the Most High, they shall not dwell where they will. They shall not go up and down. They shall not be found in the congregation. They shall not sit in the judgment. They shall not disperse judgment of righteousness between the brothers. Neither shall they understand parables, because if the gospel be hidden, it's hidden to the man that's lost. And so you have to understand, you can be lost and be as gifted as all get out in this world and then miss the mark with the Most High. At the same time, you can leave the things of this world and pour all of your energy into the service of the Most High. And this is where you will sit. You will sit in the midst of the congregation. You will be able to rightfully divide the Most High's truth. You will be able to disperse righteous judgment between your brothers and sisters that will translate them from sin into a righteous life. You will be able to understand the parables that relate heavenly principles of physicality in this world, that give your brothers an understanding and a comparable so that they can make a decision. Oh, who am I going to serve? Am I going to serve God or am I going to serve man? This is a result of the men that the Most High have given leisure and given little business. But the leisure and the little business is not for you to sit around and just chill out all day. The leisure and little business has been given to you so that you can invest that time and that energy into that thing that you're offering the Most High, so that this can come out at the end. Blessed is the man that walk not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor stand in the way of sinners, nor sit in the seat of the scornful, but his delight is in the law of the Lord, and it is in his law that he meditates day and night. Come on, brother, that's still in the poetry. Or you're meditating day and night on the gift and on the craft that you try to offer the Most High. Or you're just offering whatever time that you can find to do it. Come on, brothers and sisters, that's producing the clothing, that's making the fringes. Or you offering the Most High everything that you got when it comes to your gift and your craft. It's that thing the thing that's driving people crazy that you're talking about. Or you investing the time to do the telemarketing and try to advertise and try to get people to listen to it. Or you doing the necessary things that it takes to get the breakthrough that the Most High said we supposed to get. Because you ain't just getting it. Them that do it will receive a reward from the Most High. Them that do it. When I walk away from the video, my pockets are broke. I ain't got a single dime in them. And I ain't saying that so that nobody can feel sorry for me and have a pity party. My Father owned the cattle on 1,000 hills. All the silver and gold in the world is his. The earth is his. The people are his. The fullness thereof. And they that dwell in it. Everything belongs to my Father. And I'm his child. Therefore, I am rich. I have traded my poverty in for the riches of the Most High. And I don't want riches that are not really riches at all. I don't say these things for nobody can throw no pity party to me. When I walk away from here, I walk away from here without a dime in my pocket. But that word that just came from me sustains me, and it keeps me in a place to know I don't have to have a job. The Most High going to sustain me and take care of me according to his riches and glory. He will provide for me. I will encourage myself with the word and say like David, though I was young, now I'm old. But from the time that I was a baby until the time that I'm an old man about to die, I have never seen God's children forsaken. And this is good stuff. This is the mindset that we have to have. Because we got to trust the Most High. Somewhere you're going to have to trust him. And you brothers and sisters, any of you line up with this? Remember, your flow could be clogged up for a couple of reasons. It could just be that you haven't came into your season yet. So keep on. So before I end the video, I'm going to recite this last scripture. And it's been misunderstood oftentimes. One of the reasons why we misunderstand scripture is because we don't put the right energy into it. You see? It says, they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up on wings of eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. Now, it was taught to us in the Christian church that when we came up on bad times or something of that nature, that we just trusted the Lord and we just waited. And many times, that's what we found ourselves doing, only for our situation not to get any better. So that became the evidence that this was not what the scripture was saying. They that wait on the Lord, their strength shall be renewed. When we wait on the Lord, we wait on the Lord like a waiter waits on tables. That means that even when our craft ain't producing, we keep waiting. We could keep going back to the Most High. Okay, Most High, here it is. Then we go back. Is there anything else I need to do? Oh, Most High, you all right. We wait on the Most High like a waiter waits on the table. Here's your seat, sir. Okay, here's your menu, sir. Okay, I'll be right back. Would you like some water, sir? Okay, yes. Okay, what would you like to order, sir? And they give you a meal. Here's your meal, sir. And they come back. Is everything all right, sir? Oh, I need some ketchup. Okay, I'll get you some ketchup. Is it anything else? Oh, you're finding everything else. Here comes the pitcher. Is anybody need any more water? Here's some more lemonade. Let me fill your glass up. They that wait on the Lord their strength shall be renewed. They that continue to serve the Lord, even though they don't see the benefits coming, the Most High shall renew their strength. How does he renew the waiter's strength? Because after the waiter get through waiting on those tables and going back and forth, and sometimes dealing with people with bad attitudes in the restaurant, but keeping a pleasant attitude because they're trying to serve. And when their strength is renewed, it's when the people are pleased and they walk away from the table only to leave tips all over there. You see, whatever I do, do it with your whole heart as for the Lord, knowing that it is of the Lord that you will receive the reward. They that serve the Lord shall be rewarded. And the reward renews your strength because it builds faith in you enough to know that the Most High blessed me. Even though I didn't see nothing coming, I continue to wait on him. I continue to serve him. Too many of you are sitting down waiting on something to fall out the sky when the Most High said, you better come back to me, boy. I got something that I want you to do for the neighbor. I got something that I want you to do down at the hardware store. I got something that I want you to do for your Christian brother, for your Muslim brother. I got something that I want you to do for that widow over there, for that fatherless child over there, for that single parent over there. I got something that I want you to do. And you just keep on coming back, because every time you come back, I'm going to give you a new assignment. And they that wait on the Lord, his strength shall be renewed. And at the appointed time, You shall be able to run and not be weary. Because as each waiter gets rewarded from each table, their strength is built up. And they'll run even harder. They'll serve even harder because now they're looking at the reward that they're going to get, not at the service and the energy that it's going to take. See? They shall mount up on wings of eagles. They shall run and not be weary. Because why? When you're serving the Most High, He increases you and He increases your faith, and He gives you strength to have faith. He gives you strength to exercise the faith so that you can continue to run because you know you got a reward coming. And they shall reap if they don't faint. Too many brothers and sisters don't get the blessing in the time that they think they ought to have it, and they faint, they quit. You can't quit. You can't quit. I'm a living witness that you can't quit. I've been through the streets. I've been through all kind of stuff while trying to serve the Most High and ain't seen no reward for it. The first time and pieces of a reward that I seen came about 4-5 years ago. When I seen one video say 100 views. I was like, wow, look at that. I got 100 views. And my partner said, yeah, man, you got a following. It's appointed season for fruit to come out. But even though you don't see no fruit, because the reason I was on Facebook dealing with the word didn't have anything to do with views. That's why I was so surprised when I seen that. It didn't have anything. I wasn't looking for nobody to pay me no attention. I was a nobody then, I'm still a nobody now. The only difference is that more people get the opportunity to see the videos. It ain't made me no different. That's anybody with the craft. Shalom, King Rashard. That's anybody with the craft. King Rashard opened this thing up right here. And I told him, I said, well, that's going to be a good video to do, King Rashard, because, you know, King Rashard was talking about we need to support the brothers, and we need to support the brothers, and we do need to support the brothers. But I wanted King Rashard to understand that promotion didn't come from the east or the west. It came from the Most High. And though I agree with we need to support the brothers, there are some things that the brothers need to do for the Most High. And when all those things come together in balance, because I ain't trying to buy no shirt just because you make it and you put the Most High's name on it, but your stitching and your garment, your fringes is crooked. I ain't trying to buy no garments that you using, and you make sure that you go to the dollar store and buy the cheapest t-shirts that you can buy that's going to shrink up soon as you wash them, but you want the price that somebody who's selling authentic gear is making. I'm not buying anything from you because you don't cut no corners with the Most High. And the reality is that everybody that's offering the Most High a gift have not invested the energy in it to be deserving of the Most High's blessing. You doing garments, but you can't find the time enough to exercise and work on your stitching ability. You see? So these are some things that are important. But we want our brothers and sisters, the person that got crooked stitching today, when they really look at their garment and they know that they trying to get the Most High service, even though that thing ain't detectable to people, they can see it. When I cut somebody's hair, I see them out somewhere. I got to be feeling like, man, wherever you got your hair cut at, that's where I'm going. That's what I got to be feeling. I can't be going out and then look at somebody that just got a haircut from me, and I see them out and I'm standing behind them at Walmart or something, and I can see that the line that begin to fade is still there. That the line that begin to fade is crooked, so the whole fade is crooked. That the fade is lower on one side than it is on the other side. I can't be looking at some work that I just done and see that the line is crooked. It ain't level. I can't be looking at work like that and pay and be as though it was deserving of the same price. I'm supposed to get the same price that they could have got at a barbershop where men was taking the time to give a razor line and all that. I can't do that. And if I see it, then even if they don't notice it, I notice it. And I have to make sure I got to work on that. I can't let my work go out here like that. You understand what I'm saying? I got to make sure that I have done the very best. If it take me an hour and 45 minutes to make sure that that fade is crispy, then so be it. One of my brothers a few weeks ago, I'm up under there trimming his beard, and he said, "Ouch, man, that damn thing bit me." And I look at my edges, and sure enough, the blade got one of the little teeth is missing. Hey, when he come back in here, I can't be cutting with that same thing. Matter of fact, I can't cut with that same thing when nobody come here. Because I can't have people coming here talking about, "Oh, that just nicked me." Don't you understand that all it takes sometimes is for you to make one mistake and people are gone? They're going somewhere where they know that it's already right. Somebody see your friends, your garment is crooked, they don't have to come back to you. They going where they know that it's straight. Somebody hear you stumbling and can't remember your words, they don't have to buy your CD. They're going where they know that the person invests the energy in is going to do it right. So, I hope somebody receives something in this. I want to encourage the brothers and sisters that no matter what your craft is, I would adjure you that you find a way to start investing some energy into the Most High service. All praises to the Most High for my beautiful daughter, my baby girl. Look like she been hanging on there with me the whole time. You know what I'm saying? And I just want you to know, Boogly Boo, that you are blessed. You are blessed. I know you don't understand the Bible. I know you ain't reading the Bible every day, but everything that a father has is to pass down to his children. And you have been given a great inheritance in this world that's going to pass on down to you, because whatever your father has, the Most High mean for it to pass from him down to you. And you don't have to understand it today. You may not understand it today. And you may not know how to do what your father do as it relates to reciting the Bible. But trust and believe one thing, is that just the same way that Yeshua HaMashiach came out of the loins of the Father and declared before the world, "I and the Father are one. And whatever my Father speak, that's what I speak. And I do the things that I seen my Father do." Well, that didn't just jump and be like that. It's the same thing that we're declaring to you as my daughter. You and your father are one, and the same thing that are in your father will one day transfer to you. And it's just a blessing to see my baby hang in there throughout the course of the whole videos, because it is my children that I started making the videos for in the first place. And that is beautiful. That's fruit. That's fruit. And that's what all of us want to be able to say. All of us want to be able to say. So put some of that time and some of that energy into the service of the Most High. And what happens is that if you delight yourself, he'll start giving you the desires of your heart. When we've been working all of our life trying to get the desires of our heart to come to pass, we're working because we think that the desire of our heart is to have a beautiful house, and the desire of our heart to have a car, and the desire of our heart. And then we get the beautiful house, and then we'll get the car, and we get the clothes, and we get the spouse, all those things that we was desiring. And then there's still a level of unfulfillment. Because the things that we were desiring were our desires. But delight yourself in the Lord, and he shall take out of you your desires, and he shall give you The desires of your heart. Those desires are the desires that he put in there. And those desires that he put in us, those are desires that bring fulfillment to our life. Because a car can't bring no fulfillment. A house can't bring no fulfillment. The spouse can't bring no fulfillment. Ain't none of those external physical things can bring no fulfillment to you. Those are our personal desires that are according to the flesh. But when we start delighting ourselves in the Most High, he will take our fleshly desires out and then give us spiritual desires, and it will be those desires that he put in our heart that will cause our life to flourish. All praises to the Most High Heavenly Father. Like I said, shouts out to my big brother, Captain Von Zell, who has been hanging with me. All praises to the Most High. We love you, Cap. You just hang in there. Life is a struggle. We all have been through struggles. You understand what I'm saying? And you have been a champion at going through struggles. Ever since I was a little kid, I've always been able to look at you and look up to you. And no matter what you've been through, and no matter what you might be going through now, it ain't but one way that I can look at you, and that's up. I'm always look up to you. I ain't never gonna prejudge you about nothing, but I'm gonna tell you, you be encouraged no matter where you at, no matter what you're doing, and know that the Most High love you. And so do I. And for all the other brothers, those words were just going to the people that I'm directly connected to, but they apply to everybody that have been on the thread. All praises to the Most High for our young kings that have sought to go out into the world through the use of poetry, raising up the Father's people. All praises to all our brothers and sisters that have chosen to go into the garment industry or into the oil industry or any other thing that they are doing for the Most High. Our prayer is that the Most High would raise you up, that he would bless you, that he would double and triple everything that you put your hand to. Hallelujah.